Yo. Oh. Crack that can, hear it sing. Hey. Little chill for the sweat on everything, yeah. The sun beat down on the job site gate. Shirt stick up, man, the day run late. Truck full of tools, phone full of stress. Owners in a spin trying to do their best. Then a voice from the speaker say, brethren, breathe. Two liquor man pon the podcast plant the seed. A cold can, rest it in me hand. Yeah, listen JG, listen Will. Teach you how to overstand. Yeah, from the numbers to the crew.
From the front lines of heating, cooling, and business, this is the Beer Can Cold Podcast, where the suction line is always beer can cold. Hosted by JG Van Gran and Will Merritt. Crack one open, turn it up, Bigfoot approved. Take it away, boys.
Good morning. Hi. The Beer Can Podcast is on location at the Raleigh Convention Center at the ACR Expo. And so we have drug all our equipment out and set it up on a nice table. Honorable mention to my lovely wife that put a logo on the tablecloth for us, so we actually look a little bit like we know what we're doing.
Professional,
right? So it looks to be a very well-attended expo. There's a lot of contractors here. I saw a couple of trade school classes coming through.
Yeah, it looked like a lot of young people, so hopefully they're being exposed to our industry. And that's what my assumption would be.
Yeah, I would say so too. And so we have invited several people to be on the podcast today. Everybody is obviously pretty busy in the booth, so we hope that we can at least get somebody from ACR on today. And then I know that Milwaukee is here. They have a van with a full pack out. Let me tell you, if I had $120,000, I would buy that truck. And I would get back in it because that's the way to do heating and air or plumbing. I mean, it's really nice. So also, I've seen LG as a big sponsor here. So they have an entire session going on today here where they're going to teach people all about the LG product. I see Climate Master. I see Diversitech. York is here.
Yep.
JCI. I think they're sponsoring lunch. So it's been pretty good. Well, we've been to a million of these, right? And in different flavors. But I was mentioning to you earlier, like, this is the first time that I've seen a distributor put one on.
Yeah, it's a lot to do. I mean, our background was distribution, and it's just a ton that goes into these things, and it's expensive as well. And then I was speaking to one of the ACR reps this morning, Joey, and I said, I remember doing these way back at multiple distributors, and you're always worried about, are people going to show up? What's the weather going to be like?
That's right.
It seems like every time we would do one, all of a sudden weather would turn, depending on the season, hot or cold, and all the contractors got busy, and we might have low turnout. But it looks like they've got a really good turnout here. I just wanted to give a shout out to ACR. JG has told me a lot of good things about them. I'm not as familiar with them, but they're based in Raleigh, North Carolina, and they serve the HVACR industry, so that's including refrigeration. And I just did a little bit of reading on them yesterday and today, and they're a company that's known for its faith-based, family-oriented culture.
That's right.
And it's often described as a workplace ministry, so I think that's pretty awesome in this day and age. So we're proud to be here today, and hopefully we're going to get one of the ACR people on to speak later.
Yeah, I think they started in 1978 in Durham.
77, actually.
77.
Yeah.
And I know that the Carborough store is really close to our location, and we do quite a bit of business with them, and it's always been a pleasure. You mentioned Joey earlier. He's our territory manager, and always just a pleasure to deal with them. But, overall, they're also an EOS company. We keep talking about EOS, and we really need to do a show on it because it's truly a way to run your company. It's called the Entrepreneurial Operating System, and they do it. And actually, I've talked to Joey often about L10 meetings and those how do they do things, and they've been very, very successful. Listened to a podcast of theirs the other day. I don't know what their revenue is now, but when that podcast was produced, I think they were doing $30 million in revenue. So, yes, thank you very much for ACR for allowing us to set up a table here today, and we're going to try to get one of the ACR upper management people to sit down with us and at least just share with us the history. And in today's age, to make the proclamation that you are a faith-based company, what is the challenges that comes with that?
Yep. No, I think it's great, and why not profess that?
Yeah, absolutely.
I think it's great.
No, absolutely. So, all right, we're going to sign off here for just a little bit, and then we're going to try to wrangle somebody to come sit down on a mic. They seem to be scared, like they're all gung-ho when they woke up here and they see the mic, and it's like, oh no, I don't talk.
Well, that's the same thing when we've asked people to be on it. Some of Effective Media's employees and things, and they freak out. And it's like, no, look, we're just having fun. We're doing business hours today, so there's no beer cans being cans being popped. I'm drinking a root beer right now, which is actually good. But anyway, we will see you guys shortly.
All right. Hi there, Beer Can Cold Nation. Today's episode is brought to you by Praxis. Everybody talks about the goal: more profit, more growth, more wins. But here's the reality. As average ticket prices climb, it's becoming more important than ever to stay organized and run real systems inside your business. Because the truth is this: the process is just as important as the goal. That's why we partnered with Praxis Software, built around one simple idea: the winning process made simple. From the owner all the way to the newest employee in your team, every business needs proven processes to build a winning culture. Praxis HVAC sales and pricing tool creates consistent pricing, improved product knowledge, and develop team members into confident professionals. And when your people are confident and your pricing is consistent, your business runs better, period. If you're ready to stop guessing and start running a real operation, call Marty and the guys at Praxis today at 678-680-5926. Again, that's 678-680-5926. Or visit them at praxisgroupinc.com. You can also find the direct link in the show notes. Praxis Software, because the process is just as important as the goal. All right, as promised, we jump back in here and we have some of ACR's management with us. Guys, can you introduce yourselves?
Sure, yeah. I'm Mark Gray. I am the president of ACR Supply. I've been here almost 18 years next month.
Nice. That's awesome.
Yeah, I've been here a while and enjoyed it. It's been a great company. I only thought I'd be here for 2 years, and now almost 18 years later, here I am.
That's awesome. So, and then Corey?
Yes, sir. My name is Corey Salyards. I'm the Chief Operating Officer and Integrator.
There you go.
EOS terms. And I've been with ACR about 12 years in May.
Okay.
Yep.
That's awesome. So I have many questions, but can you guys start just a little bit with the history of ACR, kind of how it started, I think 1977 in Durham, right?
Yeah, so 1977, L.C. Meacham founded ACR Supply Company. He started out from very, very humble beginnings, no office, no warehouse, nothing. They had a door that they found and a bunch of Prestone antifreeze, and they made a desk from that. They had a light bulb hanging out of the ceiling, and a typewriter, I believe, is how ACR started. So.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So where was that building first? That was in Durham, or was that the one in Carborough?
It was in Durham. It was, I believe, down off Hillsborough Road.
Okay.
And, not in the location they are currently, but I think it was down the street. There's somebody's warehouse they had rented out. There was no bathroom. Even they had to go down the street to McDonald's, and so they've grown it from there. Now we've got 8 locations across North Carolina.
That's awesome. So I also know that you guys have a distinction as a faith-based company and one of the best to work at. Talk to us a little bit about that, because I think that's one of the coolest things.
Yeah, so Troy, somewhere along the way, Troy Meacham is the owner, CEO of ACR, and he's here today, actually, if you want to chat with him. But yeah, he at some point along the way decided to integrate his faith into the work that we do, and he realized that ACR could be his ministry.
Yes.
And those two things didn't have to be separated. So slowly but surely, we kept adding things to our ACR Cares platform and our ACR ministry. And so very faith-based with the purpose statement of build relationship, impact lives, and glorify God, which is our big purpose.
Yeah, no, that's really cool. And so I think it's really cool because I know like Joey is our rep, and we were both territory managers for 12 years, and I think it's a dying art, to be honest, because we had a milk route we run every day, and I know that at Bohr Brothers, like we see Joey and we see one other rep, and those guys are there every other week, and to me that's really cool. But just a testament to Joey, man, he's doing a great job, and actually really kind of shared that faith with me too. I took him to lunch the other day, and it was really cool. So I think it's a very cool story that you guys get to tell. So Corey, we're both integrators.
Okay.
So
Know thyself and be stressed.
that's right.
Yeah.
It's the stress of the being the integrator, right? And I'm stretching because I'm a little bit more of a visionary.
Okay.
Tell me a little bit about EOS.
Well, that's a pretty broad question.
It is
Yeah.
a very broad question. We have been on the podcast been kind of touching on it a little bit, but tell me kind of how that works for you guys within the distribution.
Sure. So I guess, can I give a little bit of history
Yeah,
how we got
absolutely.
on EOS?
Yeah.
Please.
Okay. So prior to 2020, prior to COVID, we always did strategic planning annually, and it worked pretty well to be able to hand down to departments and whatnot. And then the first part of the year, of course, going into 2020, we had a great plan for that year. And then by April, COVID had hit, and everything was getting shut down. We were still essential business, but of course, our customers, the end users, they're not going to work, so these buildings are sitting empty. And so we kind of went into this strategic planning halfway through the year, about quarter of the year in. And I think through Providence, honestly, Troy had been hearing about this thing called EOS, or Traction. So he bought 3 copies of the book, Traction, one for me, one for Mark, one for him. And he asked us to read it. Of course, Mark and I read it, we're like, this is awesome, right? This is a great way to organize the business, a great way to put together that strategic planning, and a great way to get everybody rowing in the same direction, to get traction.
That's right.
So we went to him, we said, look, we're willing to do this, but we want to make sure that it's 100% what the book says. We don't want to ACRify it, if that makes any sense. And he said, go forth, let's do it. So we started looking into it. We're looking into who could we have to come in and kind of implement it. And we started looking at implementers. We realized what the cost of an implementer is.
Yeah.
And Troy says, I believe in you guys. I think you can do this. You know?
The brothers did the same thing to me. They handed me a book and said,
Run with it. Take it, run with it.
Yeah. So we started looking into some resources, and we found a great thing called EOS Basecamp, where you can go on and watch videos, get materials, and learn how to implement it. We self-implemented throughout the rest of the year. By the end of the year, we had it fully run into the company, and it has been a game changer for us. The amount of stuff that we're getting done quarterly, annually, it's way different than it used to be. I mean, we used to get a lot of stuff done, but it's like rocket fuel.
Yes.
It's been rocket fuel for us.
Yeah. We see the same thing now. Made a mistake, right? So they hand me the book, say, read this and then implement it. And so I completely screwed up the first time around.
Yeah.
And it's okay though. So the second time around, we did have to modify a couple of things to make it a little bit easier for a heating and air company to follow. Because I do think EOS works really, really good in a corporate structure, but in day-to-day stuff. So for instance, the one thing that we found was that our Leadership L10 Weekly, those meetings, the guys weren't getting any of the stuff done, right? So I would IDS it, we would identify the issues, we would talk about them and try to solve them, and then there's not enough time to implement them. So we went to a bi-weekly L10 leadership meeting, and then we just call it L10 week. So every department have their L10s in that time, and then the trickle down in the last meeting of the week is the leadership. And so then the next week is implementation and check-in. So we go through that week. There's no meetings, but I go around, do my one-on-ones, checking with everybody how's the things going. So we had to change it a little bit, but to your point, man, it's a game changer. To be able to take and grow an HVAC company a little over $2 million in a year because you started to laser focus on things, it's truly a game changer for sure.
Well, crystallize. Sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to say the key is to be consistent.
Yes.
Right? Whether you do it weekly or every other week, as long as you're consistent, everybody knows what to expect. Then it's a good thing, and it becomes a market for the business.
sorry, Corey.
I was just to say, for us, it crystallized what is most important.
Yeah.
Right. And then being able to disseminate that information amongst the teams so that the teams are working all on the same problems, from the same issues. The flow of communication. We do annual surveys. We do quarterly surveys and we do annual surveys for our culture. And communication used to be a score that was something that always kind of like dogged us, right? And now it's our highest score, and I attribute a lot of that to the L10s and to traction, to EOS.
Right.
Being able to flow the issues between teams, put in headlines, cascaded messages, all of that kind of stuff. The flow of information is greater than it's ever been for us. That's been a big game changer. But I agree with Mark 100%. I think it's about consistency. The first year we were on it, I was in every departmental L10 all the way down to our stores. It was a full-time job just being in L10s, basically.
That's right.
Yep. And now they're self-sustaining. Everybody kind of understands how it works. And now when we have a new person come on, I teach them the language and they read the book. It's part of required reading to come on is to read what the heck is EOS, so they can kind of integrate right into the system.
Yeah, no, it's good. I do know that, like for us this year, it's really hard to get our leadership to sit down for a full day. Okay, because the brothers are like, they're in the field kind of guys, and so then my sales guy, our sales leader, he is constantly on the phone, so it's really hard. So I took him to Cary, to our second location. I shut everything down. I made him put the phones in the front, and I got 6 hours out of him this time, which was huge, right? And so we took that 6 hours, and this was in November last year, and we laid out 3 big rocks for this year. But then we took those rocks and we poured them, right? And so we have gates. So we're getting ready to have here in March, have our first meeting and how we did. But we decided to focus on customer service. And the things that happened just in January because everybody got excited about it, it's insane, right? And so, everybody knows the lingo in the company. And when we bring new people on, we sit them down, we kind of talk them through. I don't make technicians and so forth read the book, but we go through, if we bring leadership in, yes, they need to read the book and understand what we're trying to do. So it's very cool.
Yeah, it's important to get everybody on the same page.
Yes.
And having the same common language. I think that's what helps as well, in a big way.
Now, one thing I found out through the EOS process, though, it brings up a lot of very raw conversations. Sure. And that's something we're starting to dive into now, is like understanding and doing some training around more soft skills training, but how do we have that open candor and open and honest and not feel threatened in the meeting, and not repeat things over and over, like make your point, let's move on. So, it's a growing process for us, but I really feel like it's pretty cool.
That's exciting. It's an exciting journey to be on.
Yes.
Honestly, changing the culture of a company, too, to a degree as well. Yeah. That's awesome. We do some soft skill training. Mark probably talked more to it. Specifically to what you're talking about, we call it crucial conversations training.
Yes.
And it's about how to have those hard conversations, right? And it helps them more just than at work.
Yeah.
When they're at home, you have crucial conversations throughout your life.
Yeah.
And
Not easy.
No, not easy. Yeah. One of my favorite parts of it, I don't want to steal any thunder, is the telling yourself a story.
Yes.
I used to suffer from this. I'd come home from work.
Yes.
You'd see stuff around the house and you think, what did you do all day? And you tell yourself a story about what happened.
Yeah.
And then, of course, when you get the other side of the story, you realize, there's a lot that happened.
That's right.
So.
Yeah, no, and we actually had a meeting with some of my leadership because it was an issue internally, and come to find out it was all miscommunication. It was all them telling themselves stories at the end of the day.
Yes.
And this whole thing spun completely out of control. It's like, wait a minute. Like, this was all done with a good heart. Like, let's bring it back to what it really is, right? So
exactly.
It's interesting. Yeah. It's really cool. So with ACR Supply, tell us a little bit about you guys. We have a lot of vendors here. I see Climate Masters here, LG, obviously. Who's your big equipment people that you guys offer?
Well, we've got, as far as HVAC, we've got Sure Comfort, which is a Ring product.
Okay.
And we've got LG here as well that we've been partnering with for many, many years on the ductless side. So they would be the big equipment, HVAC equipment contract manufacturers here. But then, of course, we've got Heatcraft and HTPG on the refrigeration side.
Okay.
And then we've got a whole lot of different component accessory vendors here as well.
Very, very cool. Very cool. Well, I'm sorry, man. We've been talking a lot of EOS.
All good. I'm usually the one running my mouth, so that's totally fine. But I will say this, and I feel bad. You've inspired me a little bit. Is he got me to buy the book, and it's been over a year. Okay. And it's sitting beside my bed under another book. Yeah. So I'm going to go back to
Which
reading.
book?
It's one on JFK, Killing Kennedy, Killing
Yeah,
Books.
yeah,
I
yeah,
love
yeah.
those. So I'm a history guy. So yes, it's beside my bed, and it would be great for me to read that, implement it in our company. Like I said, we're a marketing company, 15 people. All we work with are heat and air conditioning companies around the country. So good stuff, guys.
Yeah, awesome.
Very cool. Well, guys, thank you so much for jumping on with us. We just really wanted to learn the ACR story, and so I think it's very cool, and we're looking forward to just years and years more business with you guys on the Moore Brothers side. And then here, the name is misleading. We're not all about beer. we have a cold one every once in a while, but it's a very inspirational name because we both come from old school heating and air, right?
Yep.
So I was in a truck in DC for years, and I literally had a guy told me that if you grab the suction line as beer can cold, you have to pull your gauges out. So
Good to go.
that's just where it came from. So thanks again for sitting with us today and just talking a little bit about the ACR culture.
Yeah, absolutely.
Pleasure, gentlemen.
Yeah, thank you so much.
JG, Will, cold can't flow.
All right, we're back, and we were able to snag Rodney Smith.
Actually, he came towards us. So
He did.
I think it was a mutual thing.
Might have been a mistake.
It might have. We'll see. It's earlier, Rodney.
So you're with ACR as well. Introduce yourself real quick.
Yeah, so I'm Rodney Smith. I'm the sales director for ACR. Been here for 25 years.
Wow.
From the beginning almost then.
Well, 3 years prior to that, I managed at Johnstone.
Okay.
And 6 years prior to that, I worked at United Refrigeration.
Okay.
So
Okay.
I'm a lifer.
Life or two.
And
Yeah.
I went to school and came out with biology.
Where'd you go to school?
UNCG.
Okay. I grew up just above Greensboro in Madison, so not far from there.
I live in Greensboro.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. So we both did 12 and a half years at Virginia Air.
Okay.
We sold York when York was not cool to sell.
Okay.
So we know exactly how that goes. So you just came back from Disney.
I did.
How did that go?
Disney is everything it's supposed to be. It's beautiful. It's a sight to see. It's stimulating. It's extremely exhausting. And
Yes.
it's extremely expensive.
Yes.
Yes, it is.
Yes.
I
And
have
there's
a
long lines,
two
right?
and a half year old granddaughter, so I'd never been before. And
Nice.
so my 2.5-year-old granddaughter speaks really well. And she said, "Papa, I want you to go to Disney." I said, "Papa goes to Disney."
There you go.
Yeah.
Well, I'm B-Paul.
No, you're
So
B-Paul,
I
yeah.
have
I'm
8
Papa.
grandchildren.
8.
Yes. So B-Paul and that's nice.
That's awesome. So, Ron, tell us a little bit about the ACR sales philosophy. Because we were saying just a minute ago, so Joey is our territory manager.
Yes.
And because I was a territory manager for a long time, I think after COVID, the art died, to be honest. We worked for a guy, Jeff Burrish, we talk about him often, he believed in the milk route, and we went to see our customers on a weekly basis, and we did the best we could for them at all times. And I'm telling you, as a general manager of a heating and air company now, I don't see that, right? I see Joey. Joey comes in as one other distributor that those two people come into our office, come see us and come talk to us. But I think it's an industry thing.
I hear it from all of our clients. They said they don't see their people anymore. Like, I never see them. I'm like,
Right.
what?
So you don't see salespeople?
Well, I run a marketing company,
Right.
Effective Media Solutions. So I'm just saying our customers, I will,
Yeah.
I was in distribution forever,
Yep.
so I get it. And like, no, we never see our people.
No, seriously. Out of people we deal with, Joey is there. Comes in every week, every other week.
It's good to hear.
It is. No, it's really. I'm telling you. And then listen, he doesn't just.
Joey's getting a raise.
Yes. But the funny thing is, Will, it's like Jeff used to say, he's not a donut boy, right? He doesn't just bring and drop off the donuts. He brings value. He's in my office. He's telling me what's coming. Invites me to the ACR Expo. Brings value to help us work through things. We don't. I'm telling you, Rodney, we don't see that.
Yeah, the reverse of that is, sorry, Rodney, is vendor boy.
Vendor boy
comes with
yeah.
donuts and, oh, can I lower my price again?
Sure.
So sorry.
No. So, I mean, our philosophy is everybody sells the same thing. So our competition, we all sell the same thing. And we have a tremendous amount of respect for our competition.
Sure.
They're really good at what they do. So we have to bring value.
Yeah.
It's value adds. We have to sell not only the product, but we got to sell ourselves, and we got to sell ACR, what we stand for.
Yep.
And we have to find pain points that we can help you guys be more successful.
Yeah. That's right.
So when we go in, what I ask our salespeople to do is use your eyes and your ears more than you use your mouth.
That's right.
And find out what's giving them pain and bring value to them. And it's just that simple. And so how we're able to keep our sales guys on the road, and maybe how it's helping us, is we have like an inside sales team.
Okay.
I think you guys have been exposed to them.
Yes.
And we also have an engineering products team. So the busy work that keeps the guys, on the side of the road on their laptops doing quotes and stuff, we're sending them out so I can keep them in front of customers. Our goal is to be in front of customers.
Yeah.
People buy from people.
100%.
COVID was difficult.
Yeah.
I did not like the inside sales proactive approach. I want our people in front of people, and again, bringing value.
Yeah.
And that's not a spiel. That's really what the goal is.
Yeah.
And I think sharing your culture too.
Yes.
Well, we got to sell ACR, and that's our culture.
Mark and Corey talked about that, and it's funny, Rodney. When we do our podcast, we have a lot of times customers on their contractors, and we talk often a lot about culture. It comes up almost every podcast in some form or fashion, and that's a story to tell. And people, they will flock to that.
Right.
Yeah. So I think it's a great story.
Right. I mean, right now we have our corporate chaplains. We have a corporate chaplain that calls on all the ACRs. It's a big thing for us.
Nice.
They're right now blessing the food
Yep.
and talking a little bit about corporate chaplaincy. So again, that's selling ACR and who we are, our culture. Again, our competition sells the same thing, so we've got to bring value.
That's right.
Yeah, value and relationship, like you said. It's when I was a territory manager, it was all about relationship, and so sometimes they were struggling with what we were selling.
Yes.
And so, but it was the relationship that kept the business.
Yeah.
So I was a territory manager at ACR for 15 years.
Okay.
So I've been doing this, again, since then. And, when I first got offered the job as a territory manager, I was a manager at Johnstone.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't want to do outside sales.
Yeah.
I actually turned them down the first time, and 3 years later they come back and offer me again. And I took it, and then I learned real quick that people buy from people.
That's right.
You got to be there, you got to be present, and even if you don't have the answers, you got to know where to go get it.
And that's what I used to tell customers, like, hey, I may not know this, and I would not try to fake it.
That's
and
right.
I'd say, hey, look, I know we have somebody in the organization that would know the answer, so I'll be back. And they appreciate and respect that.
Sure.
I think I have since, because I had the same number from when I was a territory manager, I have something like 2,000 contacts, because it's like I don't know everything, but I'm going to find out who knows it, right? And so that was a big part of just bringing that value, to your point. So I think we all come from a similar culture, and it's not big box store culture, right? And so we see that a lot. Tell us your opinion on EOS.
Oh, I love EOS. I didn't think that I was going to like it in the beginning, because now we got a meeting, an organized meeting every week, our L10, and we have these rocks and these to-dos and all these things. I really didn't think, though, when we bought EOS, I was already a veteran, been here for a long time, and I absolutely love it. And I tell you what, when you have a sales team, like a program like that, you're saying something, because to get sales guys to like stuff is difficult. Right?
Yeah, 100%.
But the way it bridges communication gaps is phenomenal.
Yes.
The way we can cascade stuff from one department to the other. Before, we would have meetings and there would be quote unquote to-dos that would go out there and they would just float around and you'd never do anything with them. Now you have
no accountability.
Yep.
Yeah.
Accountability is a big piece.
Yes,
I love it. And I think you guys have already talked to Corey, which is just
he was raving about it.
He's ingrained. I tell you what, he implemented it for us. And most people pay somebody from EOS to come and do it. Corey, we were blessed to have Corey and Mark in those regards to come in and help us get that up and going. Yeah, it's been a game changer.
Yeah, the brothers handed me a book when they hired me and said, "Here you go, implement." So so it's been a ride.
Yeah.
And I was telling Corey and them, like, I completely screwed it up the first time around. We had to relaunch, but it's okay. Now it's going a lot better.
Sure.
And it's like we had to make it a little bit our own, though. Like we had to understand a little bit better, because what I was finding out is with our leaders that's very much in the field every day and very busy, a weekly meeting, the things weren't getting done.
Right.
So we actually went to bi-weekly, and it worked really well for us.
Yeah, it's great. We love it. again, it's been a game changer for us.
So, one last thing, Rodney. So, I'm a contractor that is in this area. I don't know you. I don't know ACR. Tell me why I should give you an opportunity. Why should I let you pass the gatekeeper?
Well, all right. So we're a small, family-run, high-culture company.
Yes.
Again, we sell the same things that everybody else sells largely. I mean, let's face it.
That's right.
Ring, Carrier, Rude, on the HVAC side, they're all great stuff.
Yep.
I mean, they are.
Yep.
They're all going to work. Then the parts and pieces, everybody's got the exact same thing. So the difference that we are is, again, is our culture and because we're small, we're able to pivot really quick.
Yeah.
We can love on people. We feel better than everybody else. If there's a problem you have and there's a new program or a process that needs to be, a custom solution that needs to be put in place, we don't have to run it up the flagpole.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Independent distribution is
Yes.
more of my background, so we loved it.
Yes. I mean, we're going to be competitive on pricing. We're not going to say that we're always going to be the cheapest. Profit's not a bad word. We got to make a living like everybody else.
That's right.
But I promise you, we're going to be competitive, and we're going to find solutions that help you be more profitable. We're not always going to get it right, but I promise you, when we make a mistake, we're going to own it, and we're going to fix it.
That's awesome. Rodney, thank you so much for sitting down with us,
Yeah.
buddy. Appreciate you.
Thanks, guys.
I've learned a lot about you guys' organization today.
Yeah.
That wasn't as painful as I thought it was going to be.
No, see, we really don't bite much.
Okay, so we have something really special, and I'm pretty excited about this because I have been wanting to talk to anybody that's involved with Chick-fil-A for a while.
Okay.
And so what we did, this is all Will, and so
It
you jumped
took
outside.
3 times to
Three
get him to
times?
come in here. Three requests.
And so to tell you guys why we're excited is because our podcast is all about processes and culture and in the heating and air conditioning industry. And we know that the reason we love being here with ACR today is that they're a faith-based organization that's very structured, and that's kind of the Chick-fil-A model as well. So to have you guys on today to talk a little bit about your Chick-fil-A experience, how does it work, the ins and outs, that stuff would be really, really cool. So Will was brave enough to go out there and beg you guys to come on, so I'm pretty excited about it.
Yeah, that was good.
You don't know until you ask.
That's
Hey,
right.
it's true.
So let's start by introducing yourselves, please.
Yeah, I'm Hannah Grace Meacham, actually. My husband is Taylor Meacham, works for ACR. Troy Meacham is my father-in-law.
No kidding.
Wow,
Yeah.
we've got royalty here.
This just went a whole different
no.
level. That's
and
awesome.
When you wanted on the podcast.
Here,
That's for sure.
get it here.
That's awesome.
And, all right, who may you be?
I am Georgia McDonald. I am just a friend. Hannah Grace and I have known each other since we were 1 year old. So I'm just here to support and serve
Nice.
some good food, good Chick-fil-A food.
Awesome.
That's awesome. So now you actually own a Chick-fil-A?
My brother owns 2
Okay.
Chick-fil-A's in the area. One in
Wow.
Chapel Hill and one in Durham.
Very
Not
nice.
easy. Not easy to go through that
my
process.
other brother owns 1 up in Minnesota.
Okay.
I just went to a semi-high school reunion. Actually, a bunch of people who grew up together. And a girl I've known, her dad opened the first McDonald's in my little hometown, Madison, North Carolina, back in the early 80s. Her and her husband owned 29 McDonald's.
Wow.
I'm like,
Wow.
It's a lot
crazy.
easier to own some McDonald's than Chick-fil-A.
I bet. But I think I like Chick-fil-A better.
Yeah, I think
I agree.
So the whole Mitchum family seems to me to be entrepreneurial. So talk to us a little bit about that.
Yeah, I mean, I have been fortunate enough to meet Taylor, my husband, and he's my favorite person ever, and so getting to be a part of this family is a huge blessing. I'm
Nice.
very, very grateful. Father-in-law, mother-in-law couldn't be better. But yeah, Troy is just has the ability to be. He's just a beacon in leadership and business sense.
Yep.
Yeah.
The tone that he sets, he leads by example. He's never not one to do something that he's asking his guys to do or whoever works for him. And so you know that you're getting a true, authentic person that has worked really hard from under his dad and has then set Taylor up to have to do the same type of thing. So nothing's been handed to Troy and nothing's been handed to Taylor. And I think what that's done is just created a level of respect that wouldn't be there if it was just handed to you.
Yeah.
Right.
And so they both are very passionate about HVAC. They're passionate about carrying on Taylor's grandfather, Troy's dad's legacy, and what he started. And that's, I think, the driving force behind ACR is they're passionate about carrying on his legacy. They're passionate about glorifying God through a company that they've been blessed with.
Yes.
And knowing that at any point if ACR is taken away, and that's what the Lord has, but like we're going to steward it well to the best of our ability. And so it's really cool to be a part of that.
So the link here is, yes, I do this podcast with Will, and I live here in Raleigh. Will's in Charlotte, but I actually am the general manager of Bohr Brothers Heating and Cooling, and so ACR is one of our favorite vendors. And so all day today, we've been talking to everybody here about, our experience, because me and Will both were territory managers for a different company, Virginia Air. He was in Charlotte, I was in Raleigh, and, the art of being a territory manager died when COVID came about. And I don't know if that's that way everywhere, but I know, for example, at Bohr Brothers, we don't see the salespeople coming by weekly anymore like ACR does, right? And that is a big deal to us because when Joey comes in, Joey sells us on your culture, and I buy products from him. Right? And so it's been very good.
That's awesome.
Well, I think what's great, you guys, professing, your faith forward, and what I like about what's going on in the world somewhat today is that's becoming more prevalent.
Yes, it is.
And people are pushing that into the forefront, and maybe it hasn't been like that for a while, so it's good.
Yeah,
it really is good.
No, we're good about it. And so tell us a little bit about working within the Chick-fil-A atmosphere, because I was blessed enough to, a couple of years ago, sit through a keynote speech of one of the first people that kind of helped Chick-fil-A blew up. I forgot her name, and it's awful, but I was very impressed with the stories, right? And so, for example, the My Pleasure, or whatever you guys normally say, that took 7 years to implement. So how do you deal with your culture in the store? Is there a blueprint, like this is what it needs to look like in every store, or does every store have a little bit of its own identity?
There's definitely a blueprint, and corporate does a really great job, or the support center, as they like to be called, does a really great job of giving us those blueprints. But we do get to have a little bit of our own identity, since every Chick-fil-A is technically owned, like individually owned. So it's a small business, technically. So for instance, my brothers or other operators I've worked for, you also get a different feel at every Chick-fil-A you go to based off of just what their culture is, how they lead, and the people you hire that are also in leadership that work under you as an operator really matter as well. So Chick-fil-A does a great job with the blueprint. They call it winning hearts every day. Is kind of their slogan or mantra for it. So winning hearts every day is their mantra for when people are coming through, whether that's from the team. It's not just about customers, it's about every team member that we hire and work for us, and making sure that we're winning them every day while we're also empowering them, so that then they feel that they can go and treat the customers and guests that come through our stores in that same way. And it really is just, there's nowhere like Chick-fil-A. It's just you either got it and you want to work there, or you don't. And that culture is something that they've clearly done really well with. They're doing a lot of things right. I mean, every company has their things, of course, but they're doing so many things right, and it's so awesome to see how they have taken their culture to be in over, thousands of stores.
Well, it's just a pleasure when you go to Chick-fil-A, because fast food, you're used to this kind of poor service, and you walk in and it's so refreshing. Everybody's just very nice, polite. They come by, would you like a refill? Oh, of course. It's great.
What I love about it is I have a heart for the youth, and I know Will does to a degree too, but for me, I was a rugby coach in Clayton High School for a long time, and then what you guys do and for youth, kind of we look at what your industry does for young people, and we're trying to do that in our company, right? It's like bring young people in right out of high school, teach them a trade, right? Because not everybody needs to go to college, in my opinion. Sorry, I know that's just an opinion. But the story I love about Chick-fil-A is there was a young man that came through our rugby program, and I'll never forget the conversation with him. He was working at Chick-fil-A, was second in state wrestler, had all these football offers, had very big rugby possibilities. And I remember the conversation with him, and it was like, well, what do you want to be one day? And he said, because we did a big thing about getting kids in college. And so he said, well, I would really like just to be a police officer. And I remember my buddy that runs the club, we run the club together, he said, no, why don't you try to be the judge? And if you can't be the judge, you become the lawyer. If you can't become the lawyer, right? So ended up at West Point. And just a remarkable life to the point where played for West Point Rugby. They made a movie about him that was just released about him and his team. But as always, the underlying thing was his work at Chick-fil-A and what role you guys played, or Chick-fil-A played in his life, because Larry could work there, and even when he would come home from West Point, so he would go pick up some shifts. But it was that underlying culture that he was absorbed in that helped build him. That was one of the things that helped build him to where he is. So shout out to Larry. I know he's probably not listening to this, but he texts me every couple months.
Awesome.
And he's currently went to West Point, by the way, is now studying to become a child psychiatrist. I think is the way he went. Okay. And so he's done at West Point now. He spent a year in Germany and is now in D.C. And by the way, on the path to play, hopefully, some really big rugby again for the United States. So it's like the underlying,
awesome.
It's like that base, right, that we put into the youth. And if we can get them in those atmospheres, I think it's a very good thing.
Yeah, because we know at Chick-fil-A there's going to be a lot of turnover, right?
Yes.
Like people aren't here for careers when you're hiring people, so you're wanting to, if you can instill in them, teach them, and give them character qualities that then only help them to go on. Like that's our biggest thing as leaders at Chick-fil-A, of just like, how can we put an imprint on these kids where they go out, they go to college, they want to come back like your story, but also just have the character qualities that then carry them through life. That's, I think, the biggest thing for Chick-fil-A.
No, it's very cool.
Awesome organization.
Yes, absolutely. And then they had some good chicken, too, on top of all of it.
Yeah, it's not bad.
I eat everything, but I still have the cookie. That's for the ride home.
Go. Ride home treat. I love it. I love it. That's
well,
good.
I want to thank you guys. This was such a cool little surprise to kind of shut her down.
Great.
Didn't realize you were family. That added a whole more fun thing to it. So thank you so much for sitting down with us. I know it's like we were talking about earlier. You turn these mics on and everybody's like, "Oh, we don't want to do that." It's like it's fine. We're just
chat.
We're just chatting. We're just chatting.
Yeah, it's fun. So thank you so much for being on with us today.
Thank you.
And now I can officially say I talked to people from Chick-fil-A.
Yeah, that's great.
And thanks again to ACR Supply. We really had a great time today getting to meet some of the team, and it was awesome. Awesome day.
This was definitely worth it. So thank you so much. And I got to take the day off. This is awesome.
This is good. There you go. Talk to people.
Thank you so much, guys.
Yeah.
Appreciate
Thanks,
it.
guys.
From the numbers to the crew, from the office to the van, culture KPI and a beer can call in a me hand. Hey, yeah. JG laugh, say King write it down. We'll talk straight about the budget and the crown. How you treat your people, that the real goal. Can't build legacy if your spirit cold. So we sip when the day done. Cool down the brain, put the wisdom in the cooler. Next to the grave. Cold can, press it in me hand. Yeah. Listen JG, listen Will. Teach you how to overstand. Yeah. From the numbers to the crew, from the office to the van, culture KPI and a beer can call in a me hand. We say one team, one plan, yeah. One heart, one stand, yeah. Raise up the chill for the working man, from the rooftop blaze to the frozen land. Keep the mindset warm and the beer can call in a your hand. Whoa, cold can, rest it in me hand. Yeah, listen JG, listen Will, teach you how to overstand. Yeah, from the call out to the close, from the furnace to the fan, culture KPI and a beer can call in a me hand. Culture in a business, chill in a soul. Advice from the bread that them and they can't stay cold. Culture in a business, chill in a soul. Big up JG, big up Will, let the vision roll. Cold can, rest it in me hand. Yeah. Listen JG, listen Will, teach you how to overstand. Yeah.